Gregory was explaining to us just before the break about self-speak. Would you elaborate on that just a little bit more so everyone's real clear? So this is what we all need to be doing, especially when we're taking care of others.
I think we're all speaking to ourselves at all the time. We call them thoughts, all those things that we ponder, we're expecting. We even plan out what we think is going to happen in this self-talk that we're doing. And yet, sometimes when we're in the mode of caregiving and supporting those around us, whether it's, like we've mentioned, professionally, as our career, or just loving and supporting our family and friends, we tend to say things that are not always as helpful to us. And we don't even catch ourselves doing that sometimes until we feel the effect of it, which is where the fatigue. And I think so much of our battle is right here between our ears. And there's physical things, of course, but there's so much of what we are thinking and perceiving. So I think it's just really important for all of us, when that begins to become overwhelming, situations become overwhelming, that we figure out a way for ourselves individually. How am I going to pull back and look at this thing from a different perspective? And if I can't get that on my own, because sometimes that's true, I'm so stuck in this situation that I can't see it any other way, that I surround myself with folks and individuals that will help me with different perspective. And that's why I think it's so important for us in hospice. Nobody needs to do this by themselves, because we can bring a stronger presence of different perspective, different mind, different thinking to someone who might be doing this by themselves, that we can help them think outside the box. And I just think it's really the key to us being successful in those things that are very challenging for us.
Have you found with various family members, I'm thinking in particular, the hospice patient themselves, but I can envision a family member saying, oh, he or she will never allow that to happen. And yet you can see that the caregiver needs a break beyond belief.
Sure.
And do you find that sometimes the patient coming from, not strangers, but coming from others is, so much more receptive? They're more receptive to take that advice or to take that suggestion and say, oh, okay.
It's
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It takes a lot of the burden off of the family, and the family do have that relationship. They know each other better than anybody, and here's these compassionate folks that are coming in to support what they're going through, that have a different way of thinking, that we do tend to react differently to the hospice staff and the volunteer.
And it's interesting to me, sometimes people say, oh, here she'll never agree to that, or they wouldn't want that or wouldn't like that. But in reality of it is, you don't ever know what's behind the scenes. And I'll use husband and wife as an example. The wife has one perspective of what it is, and the husband has another. You know, we can utilize the hospice house sometimes for respite care if that caregiver needs a break. The wife, oh, he'll never agree to that. He would never want to go there. When maybe a nurse or the aide goes in and asks them, would you be open to this? Your wife could use a break. Oh, yes, I would. But he wouldn't say yes to her because he didn't want her to view it as she wasn't taking good care of him, or he was, you know, she's not good enough. So you never know what someone's motivation is for what their thoughts are. Sometimes just somebody else, a third person asking, or someone from outside of that core circle, what's going on here, or is this some way we can help, can sometimes open that door that you didn't think.
That door to conversation that's so crucial to really get everything out on the table and find out what the genuine needs are, or what's the catalyst behind the way it's currently going. You know, what is it that we can change here and help with?
You are right on with that. It brings the white elephant out into the moment. Because that's where I think healing and direction happens, is when we decide to go beyond what we're just thinking and talking to ourselves about, and actually bringing it out in front of everybody else and having that open dialogue which there's so much healing in that and understanding of where each other's coming from.
Yep.
And permission, you know,
Permission.
just to recognize, you know, that husband and wife, she may not think that she has permission
That's
to
right.
say, I am tired. You are physically, this situation is physically exhausting me to the point that I can't function. You don't say that, you know,
Right.
and it goes
You
back
don't.
to that self-talk. You tell yourself that. And that's one of the things that Joe brought out several times is, why are we talking to ourselves differently than we talk to others?
Exactly.
Oh, what a great.
And I love
And it's
that.
true.
Sure.
It's
And
absolutely true.
we do talk differently.
We
We would
do.
never say some of the things that
That's
we
right.
expect of ourselves. We would never put that on someone else.
And it's not that we may not still have
You're
those
exactly right.
expectations. It's how we say it.
That's right.
It's how we verbalize it to ourselves and internalize it. We were talking on the way over here today about missing a meeting. If I missed a meeting, I'd be like, oh, Lori, you're so stupid, you missed a meeting. I would never say to Greg, you were so stupid, you missed that meeting.
Right.
So
That's
why would
right.
I say that to
No,
myself?
you're right.
But we do it to
Exactly.
ourselves.
You know, why would
Yeah.
I say,
All the time.
you know what, you have a busy day, you've got a lot out of control right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
And be okay with the
Yeah, and it
And it
imperfection of it.
happens. And
Yeah,
it
it
happens.
does
And the
happen.
world still kept spinning.
And
Doggone.
guess what? Guess what? They kept going
Well,
on
yeah.
without us.
Yeah.
They'll catch us up to speed when it's time.
Sure.
It's just part of the journey.
Yeah.
You're right.
And I always wonder, was it during this particular seminar, was it addressed for first responders? That's always I feel so, you know, with our ambulance
Oh, my.
folks and
It very much
Yeah.
was. And you and I had the opportunity to speak in the hallway just briefly. That was the day that y'all were having the disaster
the
drill.
active shooter drill.
And so unfortunately, we did not have the first responders and the those folks that we would have liked to have had and that we had invited to attend. We had 55 people there, and I hope that those 55 people were the 55 that needed to be there. But we do have some extra workbooks and information. And, you know, this is the beginning. We would like to, Greg and I have had the conversation, we would like to have more things like this throughout the year. Maybe
Be
not
wonderful.
on such
We
a big
do.
scale, maybe
Yeah.
an hour, 2-hour type thing, but to be able to bring information to people who are giving of themselves, because that is what we are about, and that is what our mission is and our goal is to make sure people have what they need, and this is just one component of that.
Oh, that would be wonderful because it falls under the mental health realm.
It really
and,
does.
And it's an area that unfortunately we're somewhat lacking in this area, and we really do need to. We've got such wonderful folks. It has to bother them when they
You
are
know it.
first on the scene. These are horrible things that they see and that they have to do.
Absolutely.
So, you know, they really need to have some place to go, some place to learn in order to continue to be compassionate and to really cope with
Right.
what they're dealing with on a daily basis.
Exactly. So they don't just become, or any of us just become these robots of
Yes.
just doing something, that we are actually, when you are present with someone, that someone feels and knows that we are present. And that takes a skill. That takes me backing up and clearing my head for a little bit. And where are you at, sir? Where are you at, ma'am? In all of this. And that's, responders are just traumatized over and over,
Over again.
and over. And Joe even mentions that
He does.
in his presentation, because he was a FBI chaplain, was at the federal MER building in
Oh, in
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
Went to New York City hours after the
9/11.
9/11, 2001, bringing down the towers. He has seen nothing but tragic. And I like the story that he mentioned. Folks were checking in on him. How is Joe doing? And he thought it was fine. We have that great answer, I'm fine. You know, we just keep putting on this brave face and
Yeah.
we're going to keep plugging along.
Right.
Caregivers do it all the time. And yet someone asked his wife, how do you think he's doing? Or his secretary. And his secretary said, well, he yelled at me yesterday, but he didn't even know it.
Completely out of character.
And his
there was tone there.
His tone of voice had changed.
And that's what she noticed. Something's getting to him, because what I typically see, he's a little bit more fatigued. I heard tone. sharpness out of him. And that was a sign to him. He used it as a wake-up call that, oh my goodness, I got to back up and start taking care of myself, because look what I've done to someone else. So it's just great reminders, and yet something very human that we all have to experience. And just when you think you get it whipped,
Yeah.
Something else.
you get to do it again.
Yeah.
But that's just the human
life.
journey. That's
That's
life.
absolutely life.
That's
and,
life.
And it's it all comes at us in
It does.
various paths and directions, and you can't prepare.
That's right.
You could only do so much.
That's right.
But one of the things that you can do ahead of time is learn how to gauge yourself a little bit. And for him, he now gauges himself by tone of voice, or by his tone, or by his anxiety level, because he says he's normally not an anxious person, but that now when he knows that he is becoming fatigued and needs to take a break and take care of himself, he'll watch his anxiety level. When he was talking about that, for me, it would be laughter, because I love to laugh and I love to cut up. And if I see myself maybe not laughing at something I would normally think was funny, or not making a joke of something I normally would, to me, that's a way for me to clue in and think, you need to stop. You need to take a look at what's overwhelming you, or what's kind of gotten out of whack in your world, and look at it from that standpoint. So you need to learn how to gauge yourself.
Yeah, you got to look at yourself, figure it out.
Yeah. I know it's the question that is often asked on Fridays. Oh, what are you doing this weekend? And I always just smile and just say, oh, we haven't really made any plans, because that's my downtime.
Yeah.
And I do my favorite thing, which is to read,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And escape. It's a little bit of an escape into, whatever book land I've chosen.
Yes.
Yes.
But it lets the rest of the brain
Refuel.
refresh itself and refuel. Exactly. And start to get that cup brimming over again, because it's such a crucial thing to do. But yeah, it's
That's wonderful.
yeah, it's quiet. It's always quiet at our house on weekends.
And that's great. It's healing for you. It's restoration for you. And that's what's so important, is that you recognize that.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
for
well,
you.
living with a psychologist helps a lot. So.
Oh, I was going to say, that's a great plus as well. What a great perspective.
Quiet music and good books and
Oh,
good
that's
conversation.
awesome.
So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's perfect.
Well, I want to thank you both
Thank
very
you.
much for
Thank
coming on the
you.
show today. It's always a delight, always a pleasure, and we always learn so much. And let's all step back and have those conversations with ourselves
Yes.
when we start to feel whatever it is, because it's different for, I'm sure, every person.
Yes.
Yeah. Take a moment for yourself. It's so important. Then you can give a whole lot more to those you love.
That's right. Thank you, Donna.
All right, thanks again for being here, and we will see you again next week on BRMC's Healthy Connections.